Headaches for the country, from racist attacks to a fall in the property market. And Sia Chalkiner has got the details.
For years, the EU was the poster child of evil in the UK.
This organisation has got to understand if it behaves in this way, it shouldn't get surprised when its members say this cannot go on, and it's got to change.
The EU morphing relentlessly into a superstate.
We don't believe in it. We do not subscribe to it. We have a different vision for Europe.
But now that Britain has chosen to bid Europe farewell, it turns out the devil is right at home, and his name is Brexit.
The Brexit vote.
Vile and ugly day.
Brexit vote.
Post-Brexit losses.
It is a critical day.
Uncertainty absolutely is a bad thing.
Turmoil, meltdown, even Armageddon.
The mainstream media have got themselves into the most ludicrous froth about nothing.
You would have thought the Brexit vote would put an end to Project Fear, but instead it's bred Project Let's Blame Everything on the referendum itself. Today, instead of dealing with the problems at hand, some of which have been around way before the term Brexit was even coined, it seems blaming the vote itself is all the rage. Take the surge in xenophobic attacks in Britain following the referendum. Brexit gets named as the cause and not the deeper issue of years of blaming immigrants for all that's bad in the UK. A handful of companies, from airlines to real estate agencies to phone companies, have used the Brexit turmoil as an excuse to wreak havoc in the minds of consumers. Some warning that prices will skyrocket, others that they'll plummet, but always a doom and gloom scenario.
People want to blame everything on Brexit. If there's an incident, a sort of hate incident, that's tied to Brexit. If there's an economic issue, that's because of Brexit. There are underlying issues, in our society and our economy.
Terrorism. Before the referendum, the threat of terrorists coming into Britain via open borders with the EU was all the rage. Now it's fears that terrorists will use the post-Brexit turmoil as a cue to attack. Forget years of foreign policy breeding terror groups in the Middle East, Libya, and Syria. The future of what's meant to be one of the largest French investments into Britain, the Hinkley Point nuclear power station, is now also being questioned because of Brexit, despite the fact the project has long been met with delays and union resistance anyway. Even the world's largest uncut diamond has made it into the sensationalist Brexit circus. Why on earth did it fail to sell? Could it be because of Brexit? Or could it just be the $70 million price tag?
After an incredibly difficult month where they scaremongered and lied about the state of play, and they offered all sorts of things where, let's face it, we were supposed to already be at war by this stage of the week, according to the former, now disgraced British Prime Minister David Cameron, there needs to be a move forward.
Post-referendum dust is clearly far from settling, as the Brexit vote has not only created political turmoil and an uncertain future, but also won over hearts and minds as the #1 conversation topic in the UK, even more popular than the weather.